Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Welcome to Primetime Local News. I'm Callan Dunlop. Thanks for joining us. The Old Minster Log Church, a historical building in the city, is undergoing a restoration to fix some structural issues. Our Abby St. John has more on the plan for the building.
I'm happy to be joined here today by Natalie Clydesdale. She's the manager of the Lloydminster Museum and Archives. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Now, this is actually kind of exciting. The Old Minster Church is getting a restoration. It's getting fixed up. So that's really exciting. To start on that, can we just talk about the historical significance of the church within the city?
Yes, we can. So the log church was built in 1904. It was originally located downtown, right across from the Prairie North Plaza, so what used to be the Co-op Plaza. And it was constructed by logs that were transported from residents from Onion Lake and moved to Lloydminster. And then residents from Onion Lake, as well as the bar colonists, built it in 1904 to be used as a church starting in August of that year. And then so it was used or as a church for a couple of years until the congregation outgrew the church and built the current Anglican church that's located across from the movie theater right now. And then for years it was used for various businesses and then sold to the city of Lloydminster in the 1960s. And then in the early 1960s, it was moved to what is now Weaver Park.
And so it's obviously very old and it's a huge part of the city and it's been around for so long. So why or what kind of started the ball rolling on getting it restored, or what approach did the city take to get this restoration kind of started?
Well, it started with when it was relocated from the downtown. I pretty much starts from in the 1960s. One of its uses when it was downtown was a storefront, and the front of the building was removed at some point to make way for some windows. Unfortunately, when it comes to log timber buildings, all four walls have to remain intact in order for it to be structurally sound. When it was moved, some poplar timbers were put in the place of where those windows were that don't hold the weight of the building. So from the early 1960s all the way up until early 2021, it started to lean. And that's when we started noticing that it was leaning towards the east. In 2021, we had to brace the side of it to prevent it from toppling over. And that was the reason why the restoration is needed. We need to make sure that it's structurally sound. And currently, right now, the front of the building isn't holding any weight. And so the restoration is going to start in June. And the first phase of that restoration is to make sure to stabilize the structure. That's the priority right now. And so there are options. We have brought in a timber specialist, and they're going to be stabilizing the church and adding additional structure to the interior to prevent it from moving in the future. Our second phase, going to happen at a future date, is conservation treatments. So that is going to be preserving the materials and trying to slow the test of time and the effects of time on the log church over the next period of next 50 years.
That sounds awesome. And it's great because then it's something that stays in the city. It's historically significant to the city. So it's great that you guys are making sure that it lasts even longer. And that kind of goes into my next question about what are the plans for the restoration once it's kind of completed, or is it still going to be in use as the restoration goes on?
Yes. So once it's finished, prior to us closing the building due to the structural issues, we used to open up the building just for general tours. You could come and you could go. There was no admission to see the inside of the church, and that's the plan moving forward is to allow the community to enjoy this heritage building. There's not too many of those buildings left over from the original couple of years of Lloydminster's settlement, and it's sort of unique in that it's made of log timbers. There's no other surviving buildings from that era made out of log timbers. And so we also plan to open it up for rentals, photography, wedding rentals. We will be doing guided tours and other such programming in the church as well.
That sounds awesome, and I'm sure a lot of people are already starting to plan that out. Is there a date that people kind of can, or when that will reopen, so people can kind of start planning ahead?
The restoration will take most of this summer and most likely lead into the fall. So we're really hoping that next spring, next year, when we start to see some warmer weather, we can hit the ground running and open it up to the public next spring.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me, and I can't wait to see the finished look after it's all restored and ready to be open.
Perfect. Thank you.
It's time now for This Week in Retrospect. This Week in Retrospect. Let's reflect on May of 1996, a time when the sport of karate surged in popularity among fitness enthusiasts.
The sport of karate is so much more than a sport and so much more than kicks and jabs. It is both physically and mentally demanding. As one quickly finds out, inner discipline is a key in this sport.
I think more than just the ability to fight or defend yourself, we're trying to build confidence in people. And the hope is that the confidence they gain through disciplining themselves in the martial arts will carry into other aspects of their life, be it school, their job, their relationships, whatever it happens to be.
This past weekend's clinic put a cap to the karate season, as many will take the summer off from competition before resuming the competitive part of the sport in the fall. Karate, like Taekwondo, Judo, and boxing, are all competing for the fitness trade in the Midwest. And whatever sport one picks, it will teach you more than just fighting, but fighting in the big game called life.
My philosophy is it's not the particular activity you get involved in, as long as that activity is run in a proper manner and you have proper instructors, coaches, be it what it is, and the right message is getting out. Then I think just the fact that they are involved in some form of activity and gaining the confidence and the skills, then yeah, you're going to get the same benefit.
One true belief in karate is a sound mind and body. But hey, learning a good drop kick can't hurt. Greg Buchanan, NewsHour Sports.
Also, this week back in 2003, the federal government unveiled its plans to renew Canada's drug policies.
People in possession of small quantities of marijuana could possibly face less severe penalties. This comes after the federal government announced plans to renew Canada's drug strategy.
The main changes is going to be that you're not going to be having a criminal record for a small amount of marijuana. Right now, it's a criminal record. The fine is exactly the same as what the courts have been handing out for years for a small amount of marijuana. The difference is you're not going to have a criminal record, which is going to can affect obviously jobs, travel, that sort of thing. So that's the biggest effect there.
The proposed legislation has sparked varying opinions here in Lloydminster.
Oh, I don't think they should decriminalize it. However, alcohol probably causes more deaths, so they probably should put stiffer fines in for alcohol.
Well, they probably got reasons for doing it, and whether it'll work the way they hope it will or not is something we'll find out and we'll know in a couple of years' time.
The proposed cannabis legislative reforms introduced today will see people in possession of minimal amounts of marijuana receive a fine, while growers will face prison sentences dependent upon the size of the growing operation. The federal government says the drug strategy is being introduced to address addiction and promote public safety. Substance abuse professionals say this is important legislation because of the harm associated with marijuana use.
Certainly it can become very, especially mentally addictive and causes lots of problems. People that use it, daily, certainly, lose their ability to function in the normal world properly. They become, totally dependent on having to have it all the time. Their life really doesn't function without it.
The Government of Canada will invest $245 million over 5 years to reduce both the demand for as well as the supply of drugs. Health Minister Anne McClellan says the strategy allows the government to develop the tools to prevent and treat substance abuse. The campaigns will be specifically targeted towards Canadian youth. Linda Wilcox, News Hour.
And that's all for this week in Retrospect.
Retrospect is brought to you by Webb's Machinery. Find New Holland products at Webb's Machinery, your dealer in Vermilion, Vegreville, Lamont, Wainwright, St. Paul, and Consort.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery, downtown Lloydminster.
Pets Purpose Animal Shelter Society is offering a way for people to get exercise and enjoy their time with a furry friend. Stacy Comer found out more about the Jogs with Dogs program.
I have a special guest today joining me on Primetime Local News. Tennille Zellweger is here. She's one of the vice presidents of Pets Purpose Animal Society. Tennille, thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much for having us. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, you are a relatively new rescue on the scene in Lloydminster. So for those who don't know, just tell me a little bit about the rescue itself.
Yeah, so Pets Purpose, we are newer. We just started essentially as we saw that there was a gap for some of the animals and we really wanted to help animals live their purpose. So what we've done is we've created where we're completely volunteer based. So we always do need volunteers. We don't have a building yet, and it's something that we're working towards. So all of our animals that come in have to go, most of them go through an isolation process. And that's where we have to have a space to make sure that they're safe and that everything else is taken care of in that aspect. Then once they go through the ISO process, then they go to a foster home. So then from there, once they go through the foster, then they can be adopted out. So we really do need a building at some point, but right now we really need fosters to help us so that we can continue to bring more animals into our care.
And what's involved with fostering?
Yeah, so fostering is essentially if you want a dog, but maybe you're away a lot or you're just not really at that point where you're ready to commit, it's a great way to help an animal and they come into your home. So you're a foster home. So what we do is we make sure that we give you everything that you need to be set up for success. And then the animal would come and live with you until they get adopted out. So that's where you would help us promote them. We really work together as a collective to help the animal find their forever home.
And one of the things now that you guys are looking to do is to get people in the community to help out by helping these dogs get some exercise. So that is where the Jogs with Dogs comes in. So tell me a little bit about that, Tennille.
Yeah, we're super excited about this. It's really fun and it's a great way to bring the community into helping us because again, we couldn't do what we do without the community. So thank you to everybody that helps. But Jogs with Dogs essentially is a way that if they're in the foster home and people are busy, but some of these animals come in and they need exercise. So it's a great way. We do have a program in place called Jogs with Dogs, where if you're interested and you're a runner or you want to start running, you can actually come and help volunteer and you would take one of our foster dogs on a run. So that's where we created Jogs with Dogs.
Now, can people just do that if they only have time to do that and not be a full-time foster?
Of course, so we kept it separate. So there are two different programs. If you're looking at volunteering and you want to be a foster, that's great. We would love for you to fill out an application online. But if you just want to be a part of the Jogs with Dogs, so even if it's every once in a while, it's not something you have to commit to every single week, but really, we would really, really appreciate your support. And that's where you can register on our website as well and get information. If you have questions, you can reach out to us. But essentially all you'd be doing is you'd be coming to pick up the dog, take it for a run, go for a jog, and then you'd be taking it back to its foster home.
Do you know roughly how many dogs you guys have right now that are part of the rescue?
Yeah, so it's always changing. We always have an influx of dogs that are available, that are in foster homes, or that are getting adopted out. I believe right now we have about 8, but we have more intakes coming in. So that's where if you are interested in adopting a dog or fostering or volunteering or even donating, we're grateful for all the community support.
And Tennille, if anybody is looking to get involved with either fostering or the Jogs with Dogs, or like you said, to make a donation, or just would like more information, what is the best way to find your organization?
Yeah, so they can find our website, so it's petspurpose.com, or you can go on our Facebook page. So we're on social media, Instagram, and you can reach out to us on one of those platforms.
Well, Tennille, thank you so much for joining me today. And this is just sounds like a fun thing, a good way for people to get exercise, and then they can enjoy a furry friend along with them as well. So thanks and good luck with everything.
Thank you again. Appreciate it.
That's all we have for news. We'll have more after the break, but first, here's a look at your closing market.
Today's oil prices are brought to you by First General Services.
The annual Stars Lottery is set to kick off in Saskatchewan. Stacey Comer has the details.
We have a special guest joining us today on Primetime Local News. Mark Oden from Stars is here. Mark is the program manager of lotteries. Mark, we have some exciting news to talk about today. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Well, let's talk about the kickoff to the Stars Lottery. Can you explain when people can start buying tickets, and then we'll get into the prizes after that?
So ticket sales start on May 29th to the public at midnight at 12 a.m. If you want to go online and get a ticket at that point, you certainly can. And the lottery is back this year, back in a big way with over 1,500 prizes with more than, the lottery is back in a big way with more than 1,500 prizes worth more than $3.6 million.
Well, and obviously we're supporting a good cause here with Stars. Can you tell me roughly, do you guys set a financial goal for this lottery every year?
Well, it is our largest fundraiser of the year. And what sets our lottery apart is that it really does directly fund the life-saving mission operations that are taking place 24/7, 365. And we, really would like to raise as much as we can from the lottery, but typically we cover about a third of the funding that we need to cover ourselves each and every year. Now, the government graciously provides half of our funding, but that still leaves us with over $10.5 million each and every year that we need to fundraise through various ways, and the lottery is the largest component of that. So it's very important to us.
Let's talk about the prizes this year, Mark. Obviously, there's always so many awesome things that you can win. And the best thing is that you're supporting a good cause, and there's a chance for you to get something in return as well. So let's talk about the big prizes this year.
Absolutely. We say that you could potentially change your life in a big way while you're also saving someone else's life. So these are prizes that you can feel really excited about knowing what's behind it all. So $3.6 million, over 1,500 prizes, as I said. And of course, we have our gorgeous show homes, $2 million show homes, one in Saskatoon, one in Regina. They come to you fully furnished. We also have, of course, every year, vehicles or cash. We've got vacations or cash, and 1,400 other home, outdoors, jewelry, experience packages. And then we've got some really special packages for our various deadlines. So the first one is our bonus prize, which is our fantasy getaway prize, which will give you $100,000 worth of a travel credit that you can use to go anywhere in the world. And if that's not your thing, although that sounds pretty awesome to me, you can get $80,000 cash, but you need to get your ticket before June 20th to get in on that. And then our early bird prize is similar to past years. It's for people to get out and explore all that this part of the country has to offer. It's the ultimate adventure package, which is worth more than $235,000. That gets you an F-250 truck, a toy hauler RV, and then also a three-wheeled vehicle as well. And you need to buy your ticket before July 11th to get in on that. And if you've got those toys already, you can get $200,000 cash. And then that's not all. Speaking of cash, there is our Lucky Stars 50/50, which will see one lucky winner walking away with half of up to $5 million. So that's always a very popular option. And brand new for this year, we heard that people wanted more cash, more prizes, more chances to win. So we added Stars Daily Cash, which is 40 draws revealed daily of $10,000 each. So 40 more chances to win some cash. Who doesn't love that?
Well, this is so exciting. I'm going to have to mark the calendar to get my ticket again and hopefully get in on the prizes. If people are looking to purchase tickets, first of all, do you have to be a Saskatchewan resident to do that, or is this open across Canada?
No, that's a really great question. As with all lotteries, you do not have to be a resident, but you need to be in Saskatchewan at the time of purchase. So that is an important distinction, especially for the border city, right? Certainly come on over to the Saskatchewan side, grab your ticket, go online, call in, and you're absolutely eligible. And the easiest way to get your ticket is to go online to starslottery.ca, or you can call toll free 7 days a week, 8 a.m. to 11 p.m., 1-844-STARS-SK. That's 1-844-782-7775.
Well, Mark, I know that this is obviously really, supported very well every year. What does it mean to you and your colleagues at STARS when you see people coming out and buying these tickets and knowing that they're helping? Obviously you guys keep going, but as you said, it translates into saving a life as well. What does that mean to you and your colleagues?
It's so rewarding. We say it all the time because it's the truth. STARS was built by the community for the community, and we really wouldn't be here without the support of the community year after year. So it's so gratifying that people come back again and again and support us in a variety of ways. The lottery is just one of those ways, but we're so excited that they do so. And in the last year alone, we made roughly 20 missions to Lloydminster. Just from the Saskatchewan side. There were some, of course, from Edmonton as well. It is a part of the world that we unfortunately visit several times each year. And when you think about the impact that a single mission has, not only on that person's family and hopefully the second chance that we gave them to survive or improve their outcome, so that has a big impact on the patient, their family, but also on the community. And so for us, it means so much that people support the lottery year after year. And again, we hope that people will win these amazing prizes, but we're also just so happy at what they are doing by purchasing their ticket. Really, everybody wins. You can know when you buy your ticket that you're helping somebody else win on what may be the worst day of their life.
Well, Mark, it's always a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us again. And we'll probably update people a couple times as we hit these deadlines just to remind them in case they haven't bought their ticket yet, or maybe they want to buy, 2 or 3 tickets at different times too. That's always an option. So thanks for joining me, and we'll chat with you again.
Thank you so much.
Now let's take a look at your agriculture prices. And that is all the time we have today for Primetime Local News. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great night.